And we are back. You are listening to the IBGR.network. Well, IBGR is our call sign as a radio station, but we're more than a radio station. We are a network. And I'm your host, Jan Robberts, Global Influencer. This is now number 11 already. And I mean, it's amazing how fast time goes. But we're going to talk about effective follow-up rather than just effective networking. You know, how to get your global influence consolidated, because I'm saying global influence because with internet now and the fact that we're working a lot more from home through our media, it is so important, and because we've got so much of a wider reach. And if your business is the kind of business that you can work online, and it doesn't matter where your customers or your connections are, then of course global influence is exactly what we're looking for. And networking online, it happens a lot more now as well. There is speed networking in different ways, and there is networking organizations that you can join as well online. And I mean, there is a lot of these kind of things had to go online because they can't meet at the moment for all the reasons we already know about. But I talked in the last part about the importance of following up and building relationships. Now, there is 7 points that I really want to mention to you just now. And the first one is practice the 3 Ps. Not practice, but be prompt, be proactive, and be patient. Now, persistence is also important, of course. It's even a 4th P. But I mean, there's really so many Ps to consider. You might have heard of proper prevention prevents poor performance. Proper preparation, even. I can't even. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. That's another load of Ps. But you get it. But let's have a look at the 3 Ps I mentioned just now. Be prompt. Now, there are many people who are actively planning to do things tomorrow. But we all have heard of tomorrow never comes. There are even some songs about it. But come to think of it, those are probably the only people who will actually make some money on tomorrow by singing about it. But procrastination comes into play there too. And I want to stop procrastination, and will definitely start soon. Yeah, it's usually very simple. The longer we wait to do something, the harder it becomes to actually do it. Because we start thinking and overthinking and forgetting, and especially if it was a challenge you start off with. So if it was a difficult thing and we start, I'll do it later on today, and then today, now it's too late, I'll do it tomorrow morning, and start over again, and it never happens. The second one is be proactive. So what does it actually mean? Now, I even checked the dictionary for the official meaning, and it says creating or controlling a situation rather than just responding to it after it has happened. Some similar meanings can be take charge, enterprising, driven, motivated, bold, dynamic. So I think you get the idea that proactive people are constantly moving forward, looking to the future, making things happen. Now, they are actively engaged, not actively and passively observing, which is the total opposite. So being proactive is a way of thinking and acting. So being prompt and proactive are close cousins to each other. And of course, be patient. Often, especially in today's world, we even stand tapping our feet in front of the microwave, and this is a real challenge. I mean, what we did before the microwave, our feet would have been very sore if we stood tapping in front of the cooker. But we have become a society of instant gratification. The I want it now brigade. But when we look at our parents, and more so our grandparents, they would save and wait for anything they could not afford. This is not just about delayed gratification or expecting everything will take forever and a day. No. It is much more about knowing some things going to take longer than we want them to take. I mean, they say in business, it's been said that certain things take longer than expected and cost much more than we anticipated. Now, patience is needed as much as promptness and proactivity. And then we have number 2 was use an authentic yet professional voice at all times. Now, that might be a clash of ethics, you might say. I have to put on a different voice right now. No, we all have our own voices to use on a daily without thinking about it. However, when we conduct any type of business, we might have to think and bring out our business voice. The one we ensure we're heard or understood in a professional manner. No heavy accents, no slang words. or no bad language. Does that mean we lose our authenticity, our realness, or our real identity? No, no, not at all. But we will still be ourselves, but we have to do our best to converse in a way that people have no ambiguity in what we say or how we say it. I hope that makes a bit of sense. It's a bit like a personality. You know, when we provide personal assessment for people, they do not have to change who they are. No, I mean, in fact, not at all. And neither are they now put in a box, which strangely is how people think about it, and how others have put us in a box for years. But they will become much more aware of who they really are. And I said, it's in the communication style, the strength in the leadership attitudes, and that is liberating, because we need to know. We need to know really who we are, what we stand for, what we do, and also how we can communicate better with others. And for that, we need to understand ourselves first, how we communicate. Then we can get better insights in how others communicate. And that's when we, our behavioral analysis process through the the insights you get from yourself doing such a I was reading, I can't do two things. I was reading my friend Mikael's stuff where he says discipline often begins with the word no or the words no thank you. Too many half-hearted yeses make discipline a larger challenge than it is. Thank you, Mikael. And that's true, of course. And going back to the profiling, when you get a profile, know thyself is very important, and that's what it's about. When you know yourself, you can easier connect with other people, and that's what we really have to do. So the third one is be a resource. Provide valuable content. Now, I love this one because so often we're afraid to share what we know about our subject, and we are afraid that others will use and abuse it. Now, Paul Martinelli, the president of the John Maxwell team, he's now moved higher up in the John Maxwell group, but an empowered liver community, once said that plagiarism is the biggest form of flattery. Think about that one then. Well, that does not mean you have to give everything, including the kitchen sink, away, but when you start to add value to your prospective clients and they enjoy it and learn from it, they will want to know what more you can do for them. What else have you got? And they don't do that if you give your worst information away. That probably doesn't help or guide them at all. I hope that makes sense. And then you might have had many emails from people you signed up to with some tremendous value coming into your inbox on a regular basis. And how does that make you feel? When you get some information and say, well, that was really helpful. I can use that. See, Mikael says again as well, just as unlearning leads to fresher understanding and new learning, so does refraining from certain doings help you get better at prioritizing, which is a huge help regarding discipline. Oh, that's wonderful. And indeed, you are so right, Mikael. Thank you for that as well. See, I mean, anybody, if you've got comments and you've got something to share with us, if you've got questions, put it out there. But the whole idea is, on the ibgr.network, there is so much information available. That's why I say share this with people, share this with others who might just benefit. And if they're on their entrepreneurial journey, I know they will benefit from this. It's all about being a river, not a reservoir. And people of value add value to people. I hope that makes any sense for you. But then the fourth one is start and engaging meaningful conversations. Build relationships. And I love this one too. In fact, I love them all, really. But when you start to engage in meaningful conversations, you will build amazing relationships. And yes, there are many important areas of building a successful business. But building successful relationships, whether with a supplier, a partner, an employee, your clients, prospective customers, is a big key component for your success. Now, I know someone who could not communicate, did not particularly like people, and was involved in a people-centric business. He did not last. Could he have learned those necessary skills? Absolutely. Was he interested in doing so? Most definitely not. You see why he did not last? So I'm just trying to reiterate that it is very important for you to actually build proper relationships. And timing is everything. It is not for investors, for chefs, for catching a plane or train. So it is also for how and when you do things in business. Now, I have spent many years in martial arts, Aikido, and still practice today. I'm constantly learning, of course, but as you can imagine, timing is important. So is responding instead of reacting. And that's something very important I learned in martial arts. I think I've talked about it already, and I'll maybe talk about it a little bit more next week. But it is very important. You need to know to get to understand what to do and when you should do it, or at least get it done. If by the time you have people working with you and for you, to delegate promptly and properly. And that's what communication skills are very important as well. But from prompt delivery of products and services to sending invoices to calling as soon as possible when you get an inquiry, which often pleasantly surprises organizations as they do not expect it. And again, Aarti as well, as soon as she gets an inquiry in about whether it's about the leadership, the Key Leadership Institute, or Celebrating Humanity International, about the diversity and inclusion, she gets an inquiry straight on the phone, and people are blown away by the promptness of her connection. And that really helps with building the relationship as well, because if you're so quick in doing this, if you're so prompt and professional, of course, it already tells a lot about you, rather than 3 weeks later maybe sending an email, oh, I saw you called, or I saw you wanted some information. Yeah, I hope you get that. My dad always said this from the very beginning when I used to help him in his record shop, you know, that round plastic things. Remember, those who provide the best service win. And demonstrate gratitude is number 6. Now, being thankful is not just a nice to have. And again, I love this too. It is such a simple yet important and so often overlooked item on the list. If it ever reaches that list at all, of course. Because even when things don't always go according to plan, and I would be most surprised if they did. And I'm a positive kind of person, but you will surely be able to find some things to be grateful for every single day. Please be grateful for stuff every day. Start a gratitude journal. Write them in there. And number 7 is know when to let go and move on. I said this about a horse, you know, I mean, it is very simple. If your horse is dead, take the saddle off and get yourself another one. I mean, there's no use in flogging a dead horse and hoping you will one day win the Grand National or a Kentucky Derby. You might say, duh, of course. But you need to move